Time is 11:21 p.m. November the 15th, 2020. It's Sunday night. I have actually recorded a few times and it was just too lengthy. There is way too much to cover, but I just want to cut to the chase and help you to focus on what you need to focus on. In Antarctica, once you get there, you'll get to the dome. You need to have the right mindset. Now, there is a crystal city. Now, when you go back and study Admiral Byrd, you will see the dilation of his eyes. He was under hypnosis. But at one point in his life, he was able to go and make journals and get clarity of his mind. Now, what happened to those journals, I'm not sure. But he's credible when it comes to the crystal city. Whether he's seen a mammoth or not, I'm not sure. It sounds like something the radio broadcasting companies, along with the joint forces of the military, had debriefed him, and Admiral Byrd was under hypnosis. You can tell. For you people, look at his eyes and his mannerism. He was confused a little bit, confuzzled. Anyway, we can get into that later. But you go around those icebergs when you're down in Antarctica, you'll come to tropical land and you should be able to see the dome. Now, it is thick. The estimation is 3.5 miles, 3 to 3.5 miles thick. And there's liquid. There's liquid between in the thickness of the crystal there. On the bottom of the world, vertically under your feet, the corporations are only able to go 7.5 miles. They can't drill through that. You see water underneath there. And from my understanding, it is pretty thick. I will estimate at least a mile. I don't really know. And beyond that, if you was to go through the earth somehow, magically, if you was able to drill and get through, you would end up into the crystal city. If you was to get a plane and fly just a few feet up in the air and go straight in a straight line towards the dome, you would end up into the crystal city. If you was to go 7.5 miles straight vertically up and go through the 3-mile thickness of the water, the dome, past the sun projection system, you would end up into the crystal city. Why? Because the crystal city is larger than the earth, and the earth itself levitates inside of the crystal city. There is no gravity. There is gravity technology in this crystal city, but basically speaking, there is no gravity there in the crystal city. They wear these robes and these outfits, which allows them, with their mind and their brains, allows them to teleport and also fly to other areas, just like you would see in the movie Superman. I mean, it's iconic how some of these things you see in the comic books and science fiction are really true. And I don't have time to get into that because I want to get into you protecting yourself in this situation. They've made a mess of the mesentery and the stomach and the intestines and the knees. And it's a horrible job that they have done. And also the evolution of the human body has been interrupted through the cold weather. This is a form of spell casting. And also those ingredients on the food that you eat and consume is spell casting. Also the products that you put on your body is a part of spell casting. That's why you cannot read the labels. It's a part of spell casting. The evidence of spell casting is astronomical. It implies that there is true magic. You don't think your government believes in spell casting? Do you know that the Pentagon is inside of the pentagram? It is a part of performing castings of spells on you. The government believes in spell casting. You know this. And I'm not going to name all of those people who are practicing witchcraft. And let me tell you, a lot of you guys practicing witchcraft, it's idiotic. taking a candle and burning it. We'll get into that another day. It's just some people are just stupid. Listen, Pan is going to kick your ass and he's going to do a real good job at it. And you guys have been suffering desperately. The leaders are looking real frail and desperate. Look at your skin, how it's deteriorating. Look at your face and your body, all the pain and all the suffering that your children are going through also, and all your offspring. You think you have the true purebred and the blood? Well, I'm going to tell you right now, there are people who exist on the bottom of the earth and outside of this world that have their blood is pure, man. And you released Pan. And now you're going to see what it is to be tormented night and day if you haven't already. And so, the Mandela effect, people, let me tell you, don't be discouraged. Don't worry. Your leaders are hurting too, physically. Their stomachs are hurting too. They're not able to handle the food. Also, their joints are hurting too. They feel the pain also. They're getting infections in their lungs also. And the infections are coming through the plasma energy, basically speaking, from the atmosphere. And I don't want to get into that. We don't want to talk about any of this conspiracy stuff. But let me tell you, the evidence is there. People, you can't just sit down and lay down. If you sit down and lay down, they're going to stomp on your head and beat the hell out of you and possibly, most likely, kill you. And let me tell you, Pan is out to kick your ass and he's out to hurt you. He's out to kill you. Now, let me tell you something. It's gotten way out of hand. I drew the line. You know when I drew the line? I drew the line back. You guys should have seen the Schumann resonance, right? When did it get a little crazy? Back in March, late March or so. We was having these wars and some idiot, Twitter allowed some idiot on there who sent me this crap. And I don't know if you guys was trying to trigger me to get back into Black Ops and to do all these crazy things for you and to track down these demons and all this bullshit. Here we go. I didn't mean to curse, but it happened. Whatever. I saw, an idiot. We've gotten to the point where people are eating little children. And it's been like that for a while. And we gotten out of hand with all this slavery. I mean, the world just took a turn, a hard turn. And listen, you benevolent ones, you people who have been brainwashed to believe that unconditional love is the love of God. Unconditional love is just a portion of what God is. Unconditional love, when you forgive and forget, let me tell you right now, you can forgive all you want, but this is a part of spell casting. It is spell casting. The love that you need is righteous love, not unconditional love. Righteous love is far more superior. It is the true love of God, if you believe in God. Righteous love, not unconditional love. Hell. Me, I have a doctorate in theology. I practice and performed and believed all my life unconditional love. But let me tell you, righteous love is what you need. Righteousness, And these people are down here raping your children, beating your wife, making people separate. Separation. Do you know why the separation is there? Never mind. Let's get into how you can protect yourself. I can sit here all night and rant with you. And let me tell you, you're going to have your asses. You are having your asses handed to you. When you go out there and you run these machines and you do all these wonderful, quirky things, you talk about the merch. Shut up. Sit down, shut up, and lay down and be quiet and take your ass kicking like the rest of us. You released Pan and he's going to kill you. It's going to kill you. The devil is out to destroy your bodies and he wants your mind. And it is a real person. At least they manifest themselves. And this person has pure white skin, have the prettiest blue eyes I've ever seen, and have white hair. And that's at least how they manifested themselves before me. Very young looking, too. You're going to be so surprised to see the size of this devil that you released. That's Pan. No joke. It's the real deal. Now I want you to be able to protect yourselves. When you go to Antarctica, just have a peaceful heart and be honest with yourself. If you are lucky and fortunate to meet the people from the celestial city, you won't be coming back. Have you not noticed? Listen. Yeah, rubbing my hands together here. Let's get some heat warmed up. Let's get rid of this spell casting. You won't be coming back. We have been extracting people for a while now. If you haven't noticed, there's not as many people on the planet as you think there are. But let me tell you, there are still more good people than bad people here. And let me tell you, people here, listen. You are the remnants, the leftovers. And the thing that you read about is sort of true in the Bible. This is that time, whether you realize it or not. It really is. I can get into that, but we won't. I want you to be able to protect yourself. You have to understand that magic exists. And let's break it down real simple and real clear for you. Water. Water and crystal and air. Crystal is just basically taking air and water and breaking it, making it to a solid structure. When you go to the celestial city, there will be crystal everywhere, and it's rounded. There are no sharp edges of any building there. There are no shadows in the crystal city. You can't even have a bad thought there. And you people who are able to leave out in your bodies are going to change. You won't have the red blood anymore. You'll be drinking water. You won't have to eat food or have to go. You won't be sleepy anymore. Your DNA is going to change, and your hair on the body, except for your head, it's going to not. It doesn't have to be there. That resonation doesn't have to be there. The hair is used as communication, such as fiber octaves in the body, anyway, in the earth matrix. And I don't want to get into that right now. But you need to be able to protect yourself while you're here on the earth right now. All the people who have been affected, who's been in the hospital, and the lungs and the situation, you need to be able to stop the spell casting. And I don't have time right now, but we will later on. And this is relative to the Antarctic situation, because when you get to Antarctica, that's where the inside of the glass dome is, and it's thick there. And there's water there. Yeah, the reason why that water is there, it is like a mirror. It's a deep blue, and even our militaries are able to project images on the face of the dome. Can make you see spaceships and all sorts of. Listen, don't just trust lights in the sky. Don't just trust something you see. As you see a spaceship and it comes down, if you don't hear the sound, we have issues. We have an atmosphere. Now I know we have technology where you don't have to feel the wind, but you're gonna see trees and stuff move and all that other stuff. Just be careful with thinking that aliens are taking over. There are advanced humans. You talk about aliens. There are advanced humans. We have technology. I can get into that later. You need to protect yourself. Don't just let someone do something to you and you not do anything about it. You have to protect yourself. You have to get up. You can't just lay down and be unoffensive. You can't. Someone needs to fight for you. If you're not fighting for yourself, somebody needs to do it. Don't just let people do things to you and say things to you. I'm serious. Now, I don't know who's listening to me out there, not everybody. But let me tell you, man, there are certain forms of evil that will destroy you, whether you sit and do nothing or do something. And I'm serious. These entities will do things to you with or without your knowledge and understanding. And a lot of people, or should I say entities, are hidden. And it is because of technology and also how the world's set on top of each other. All the dimensions are intertwined. And let me tell you, you better do something about it. You can't just sit there and let this happen. It's amazing how I watch these commercials and I don't know, we're being programmed. You're being hypnotized, and it is spell casting. Every broadcasting and television is a form of spell casting. Every product that you put in your mouth, especially if it is manufactured and it is not a whole food, and including the food that we put in our mouths, our whole foods are being casted with poisons and toxins and pesticides. All that is casting into your body, and it causes harm, man. Miss, or whoever or whatever you are. Listen, we sit here and let them run these commercials and stuff like that, undebated and unquestioned, and the whole deal. And you know what's wrong with it all? It is all forms of fear tactics. And let me tell you, the opposite of love is not hate. We need to hate what is going on. If you don't hate the badness, you're going to succumb to fear. Fear is the opposite of love. Fear is. And this is all fear tactics. And they tell you when you get up to the sky, your plane is going to go into a frenzy and you're going to spin out of control. When you go down to the oceans and to the seas, your submarines are going to be crushed and you're going to lose oxygen. When you go all the way down to the Antarctica, it's so cold there, you're not going to live or survive. But there are people who live in those areas, but they're still under the subjection of this fear and will not go in straight line. The delusion is strong. And I'm telling you, around the world, everything about the world and the earth is a part of the illusion. So we can't even trust anything, not even we just can't. We have to question everything. And it's okay to question your authorities. It's okay to question because the government is the mentality that is placed over your mind. And let me tell you, you better protect yourself. You better do something about it. Or you're going to be, they're going to attack you, whether you like it or not. The innocent, you can have the Gandhi mentality, but still it doesn't matter. How many, all your prayers, all the prayers of the innocent, you think all the people in the world who have prayed, you don't think out of all the people who have prayed since the beginning of the time of earth, you don't think some of those prayers didn't make it? Yeah, they did. So why is badness still happening? Why does it supersede everything in the nature about this world? Listen, you need to take back your being benevolent and being full of unconditional love is going to get you killed and get you hurt. Unconditional love has never resolved or solved this world. Not the love that all the love in the world. Have you ever tried to love somebody who's bent on destruction? Have you ever tried to help somebody who doesn't really want to be helped? You're trying to help somebody that wants to kill you, man. Miss, or whoever you are, whatever you are, you can't allow this to happen anymore. And I'm tired of it. And the people who are cowards, sit back, shut your mouth, and be quiet. And let they who are willing and ready to do the right things. And I'm not always talking about the type of physical violence of getting up and fighting, but it's gotten down to that because this is personal. The blood hurt curse, this stuff, when you start, a lot of you guys, you're living in a bubble and you're living in a fantasy world and you don't see the evil. You don't see the badness. But man, listen, you let them make these commercials and it tells you about all the wonders that it has and it gives you all the side effects that are basically tactics of fear and to kill you. And we allow this to be even broadcasted. Man, let me tell you, that's why a lot of times you shouldn't be even listening to the news. It is a form of spell casting. You shouldn't be listening to, certain people shouldn't be talking. And there are certain people that will stand up and start talking, and the world will go into a frenzy. And this is not the right energy, the right currency that we need in this earth matrix. And people need to wake up to the situation. And if you, whatever you are, whatever you think you are, you better start doing something about it. And I'm talking to the ones who are running the ship. At least, you know what? Someone mentioned to me that this earth is, come without instruction books and without manuals, and that the ship is running free. But let me tell you, this earth responds to the mindset of everyone as a unit, basically speaking. Now, it wasn't until these people who got real crafty with calling upon these entities and opening up these portals, if you want to call it that way, in these dimensions. It wasn't until then that I had been slept, and I slept and I was sleeping. You waked up the most powerful evil, and then you also really summoned that which is good. And let me tell you, the difference between the evil and the good. Evil borrows the power of the good. All the spell casting is borrowed magic, borrowed spells from water. Really, seriously, think about everything I'm telling you. And put your mind to it. This is one form of protecting yourself, just having the knowledge. Spread these videos, because you need this stuff, man. You need it from someone who's been there and who has done that. I'm telling you, I'm out there and I don't even have time to even make the videos. I don't have time to be on YouTube and Twitter and all these other things. I've made time for certain special people who have a special intelligence. But I'm telling you, man, you're out of time. The clock is down. This thing is spinning so fast, time is, that you can't even focus. And that is done on purpose. And, there is a legendary saying that in the last days, perilous times, you know how it goes, the story. But there's a lot of truth to this, because the devil the devil has a short time. Now listen, we have to do a lot of self-checking right now. What does the devil reside in? Humans. Is it true that humans, people, are we the fallen ones? We're in this enclosure. We're behind this. We're underneath this firmament. And so now we have to do, the matrix is all wild out and all out of control. Children, people, organs, they're eating each other, coming up missing. And these people have gone mad, out of control. And let me tell you, I have seen most likely more than the average person. And I've seen more evil, and luckily I've seen just as much good. And this world is not exactly how you portray it. And a lot of you people will not partake certain products, but everything you put in your mouth supports pornography, murder, killing, everything, including the bottled water you drink. And they have taken all of your rights and all of our, well, I can't say our, because my mind is different now. Thank you very much for waking me up. You came with all this magic and it's stolen technology. It really is. And I hope you people understand and hear what I'm telling you right now. I'm not playing. You shouldn't be playing. It's way past that. We are setting, and man, have you listened to the news lately? Can you even find or hear anything that's good? You know what? That is all. And your leader, who will be now your former leader, is right. It is fake, but all of it, just about every bit of the casting of what they say is spell casting, fake news to project the mindset in your brain. Seriously. I mean, I can sit here and talk to you all day and you can listen to me, but the people who know, they know. Living in bliss and just ignoring the situation. Unconditional love has never resolved anything here. And all prayer is a form of focus. And if your mind is all over, you're thinking about the COVID, that's a fear tactic. And they're using that. And we need to have a new way, a different way of seeing things and understanding things. It is us destroying, we are devouring each other. And all because of one person. Imagine the entire world is corrupted by one individual who remembers exactly how the system is ran. It's borrowed technology. The true magic is water and air. Go and digest this and understand that I am 100% credible because I've utilized this technology, and so can you. All the stuff that you see, the miracles and stuff you talk about, it involves your knowledge and understanding of what true magic is all around you. And you're looking for answers. And the instructions is right up under your skin, man, miss, or whoever you are. And I could go here all day about this situation, but I'm not. Just understand. Just understand, man. I can sit here and just talk all day. I really could. But we don't have that kind of time. Out of time. Out of time. You need distilled water. If you can't get distilled water, drink purified water. If you can't get purified water, just drink water. When your body is hurting, lay off the food and go on a water fast. Go as long and as many days as you can. You drink just enough water to produce saliva in your mouth. And some people who have a lot of water weight and who are heavy may have to drink as much as a half gallon of water a day. But generally speaking, you go by your body weight, and you don't want to be eating food because the mesentery is not able to handle it and you have a leaky gut. And I don't have time to tell you, but this is how you need to do and what you need to do when your body is hurting and is acting up. A blood hurt spell has been cast on your body through the ingredients and through the food and liquids that you consume. And there is radio frequency that goes to your brain that causes your brain to go in a reactive mode, even to the point of autoimmune disorder, and cause you pain. You need water. You don't want to be mixing water with liquor. You want to go on a water fast to allow your body time to repair itself. Your intestines are being messed with. And to eradicate this, you need to allow your brain the opportunity to discern between the good and the bad materials in your blood. Most likely you have a leaky gut. This whole mess that they've made, including the mesentery, is horrible. But a water fast will resolve many of your problems. As a matter of fact, you may have to go on fastings quite a bit. You should incorporate that and make it a part of your life. Now, I'm just telling you how to protect yourself. And I'm not going to give you all the reasons why, but in generally speaking, a spell has been cast on you. And they are making the air cold, and the chemicals go into your body through your nasal passage, and it gets into your lymphatic system. You may have cold chills and feel hot. Now, the reason why you begin to feel hot is because the brain is trying to counteract, but sometimes your human brain needs assistance, and so you need water. And plus, for the places where the bad stuff is in your blood, the brain already sends histamines, and that is water to the parts of your body. But it will come a point where your body just rejects just about everything. You have reached a really, really bad condition when your body rejects water. You are definitely in autoimmune disorder at that point, and you need to just fast until you're able to take in water. You're going to feel like you're going to die, but really you're saving your own life. Another thing, heat kills the blood hurt spell. And when you work out and sweat out the toxins, and if you have good muscles and strong muscles, uh, it counteracts the blood hurt spell. And I don't have time right now to tell you about the blood hurt spell because we are going to talk a little bit about Antarctica a little more and the Crystal City, and because I want to really help you. And listen to my voice. Listen, I'm not making this stuff up. And we will get into this a little later. Sweating out the toxins. And if you don't have a sauna, if you can't, because of this COVID-19 lockdown, you may have to get a salt bath or make the water warm and get in your bathroom, maybe put some towels down, as long as you're safe, be safe, and generate where your body can sweat. You may need to work out, just enough to sweat. You need to begin to sweat. You may need to add apple cider vinegar, organic most likely, to your water, a little bit, not a lot, to produce alkaline so your body can dissolve the toxins that's in your lymphatic system. You are fighting against a technology that is utilizing your brain to attack you physically and cause you physical pain. Water is magic, bottom line. And we won't talk about how and why, but CERN is using borrowed technology by freezing water and air, pure air. When you're sick, they give you pure air. And once your body gets addicted to that, it's almost hard to go back to this toxic air. The earth is toxified on so many levels, and the food. And so when you look at the ingredients on the boxes and you can't read them, those are forms of spell castings against your body. The cancer comes from the food, the air, and the liquids you drink. So having as much as possible purified water will counteract the blood spell curse. And for you with the minds that are going through anxiety, you need to do a water fast. This will help your brain to focus. You will notice the resonation of your brain in the pineal gland, or pineal gland, however way you want to say it, will begin to resonate, and then you're going to start seeing advertisements about tinnitus. But this is communication between you and a supernatural being that utilizes artificial intelligence, which is also a part of the celestial city, which will decipher your mind and your body and help you to separate from badness. Once you get to the celestial city, you will no longer be eating meats, fruits, or vegetables, or anything like that. You will only be allowed to drink water. You won't have to worry about dying or anything like that. As a matter of fact, you will have a clear mind. And we'll talk about that in a moment. But right now, you need to really pay attention to what I'm telling you. The best thing for your body right now is water. And you should not mix this with other liquids. And some of you need to go on a water fast for 2 to 3 days, and some people all the way up to 5 days. And after your body, listen to your body, it will let you know when it wants food. The problem is with the intestines and all those chemicals that are in your body and fighting through your lymphatic system is causing you pain in your joints, and your body is crowded in there with all of these chemicals, such as the barium and the aluminum, which is down in your blood and leaking through your intestines and seeping through and going to all your glands and filling your glands up where they can't filter out the toxins. You need to sweat the toxins out. Heat counteracts the blood hurt spell. Sweating muscles also counteracts the blood hurt spell. And you need to work out. and increase your muscle mass so you can fight against the evil. And when you have enough water in your diet and not other foods, when you go into fasting, your brain will be able to resist the radio waves that are going into your body. As a matter of fact, your brains can be utilized, and the it understands the binary code and the radio frequencies, and your brain can actually utilize those same towers against the ones that are implanting the broadcasting, and this is spell casting onto your body and your mind. Anyway, I will cover this in another video, but this is ways you can protect yourself. Your mind is going to clarify itself. Again, you need to go on a water fast. I know this sounds bizarre, but it's just a fact. You can add sometimes cayenne pepper to your water. I know it sounds bizarre. The cayenne pepper will help you produce heat. And believe it or not, the blood hurt spell is dissipated with heat. So you idiots out there that burn candles, you're messing with stuff you don't know what you're messing with. And some of you people who practice spell casting and magic, now let me tell you again, I don't know if I said this in the first part of this video, but your governments believe in magic. They do. They believe in spell casting. The Pentagon, the actual shape of the Pentagon and the Pentagon itself is a part of spell casting upon the populations. They believe in this. In the center of the pentagram is the Pentagon. Go figure. And we don't want to get into conspiracy. I'm just giving you the facts, okay? And now, for the people who are not able to get down to Antarctica, but we'll address that in just a quick moment, because there are a lot of people who are hurting and they're stranded. Again, if your body's hurting, you need to go on a water fast. If you're unable to think clearly, you need to go on a water fast. And you don't need to be eating any type of solids or foods, because the foods are used against you to hurt your body and to distort your brain. And the radio frequencies go into your brain, and your brain reacts with the chemicals in your body. This is how various cancers and viruses are generated within the lymphatic system. And at some point, your brain will begin to attack even the good cells in your body. This is why you need to eliminate all those chain reactions that are going down in your body by the water fast. And if you're very religious, and many of you are, remember that they taught that fasting happened a lot. And there's a reason why they call it fast. And if you want fast results and supernatural things to take place, you want to use real magic, which is water. I don't need to go into right now why that is so. You can see the evidence of water, which is not seen under the microscope, and also air. Get the best filtration systems in your house and get to good air. This is why the ordinance for the mask, although people have taken it out of context and the government is using it now against you, but the whole idea for the mask was to allow you the opportunity to protect your lungs, because it's unfair game, and this is because of Pan, the prince of the power of the air, waves, and the air you breathe. And that's casting, literal, physical spell casting in the air by using alchemy in the form of aluminum and barium. And the coal ash is there because the toxins of the aluminum and barium and other elements that they put in the air are so drastic and strong that they add coal ash, which sort of neutralizes a lot of the toxins. It's the same type of stuff you have in the carbon water. When there's toxins in it, it magnetizes and brings the metals and toxins, and it filters them out. If you have plastic filters in the water, they use carbon, the same stuff they used to spray in the air with the so that's why they add the coal ash to the air. Generally speaking, it also produces an electrical field too. And so when the radio frequencies go into your brain Anyway, we could talk about this. Your brain is responding, and your mind is kind of on standby. It's just, but after a while, your brain, when you start to sweat out the toxins, your brain will begin to get it. It will remember again how to sweat. Remember when you were a little child and they called you up to the board and you begin to, just thinking about being called by the teacher, you start pouring a sweat, or maybe someone you like talk to you and you want to approach them, you start pouring, your hands are sweaty. You're not sweating like you need to. This is why when very young children, they teach them fear because they're not able to control their bodies because children sweat a lot. And you just forgot how to sweat. Sweating is a form of blocking spell casting. I know you probably think I'm crazy, but we'll talk about this later. Now let's get back into Antarctica. I'm pulling my chair up a little bit. Now it's late at night, and I'm going to resolve this for you. Admiral Byrd was under hypnosis. You can go back and study the videos and look at his eyes. Now, there has been cover-up about Admiral Byrd. Now, I've studied this because I also had the opportunity to I shouldn't say opportunity, I have also left certain parts of I actually left off the Earth completely. And Admiral Byrd seems to be credible, so he actually flew past the dome into the celestial city. And when you get to Antarctica, you get to the dome, there is a strong possibility they will allow you through if your mind is right. And your body will change. And what's going to happen is that once you start breathing that air, your memory will come back. You will actually remember things that you've forgotten. The earth just has such a strong spell binding casting of forgetfulness, and this is dreamland, that you may remember who you are exactly, just like in my case. When I went to the celestial city, I remembered who I was, and I knew people there already. And it wasn't brainwashing, it was actually memory. So when you come back to the earth, you begin to forget. And this is what Admiral Byrd's eyes showed. He was under deep hypnosis. And they may have implanted that he's seen a mammoth. And that sounds like military code to me. It was a mammoth. And so he had a trigger person. But the part about the celestial city, the reason why I'm able to say is the truth is because I've seen this myself. And anyway, we can get into that later, but it's really a true story, that part. Or someone gave him that information, but it sounds credible because he was in the right areas and the corners of the earth. So, far west of Hawaii, Alaska, north of Russia, and Greenland, Denmark, and down way far down from Africa, southern Africa, going to the corners of the earth is glass there. Now they have mastered of spraying the chemicals in the snow machines and making these icebergs, and they look kind of beautiful, that blue color. Anyway, it's water. And when they freeze water, then they're manipulating time. And we can get into this a little later. But when you get down to Antarctica, or any of the corners of the earth, you will have the opportunity to leave. And when you do that, you will not be coming back. And so there will be less people on the earth. And we can talk about that a little later. But for the people who are not able to do that. Now, in Antarctica, when you get there, you're not going to be able to have radio reception. There are no... Interesting. I'm just listening. I listen to things around me. I pay attention now. And that means I must be saying the right things right now. And so we'll talk about a little more of this a little later.